everyone. In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the information that's found in Chapter 3, Section 3.2 of your textbook, which deals with rounding decimal numbers. You are going to see that there are some similarities as to when you are rounding whole numbers. Just a couple things that I do want to point out to keep in mind. The very first thing that you need to do is to begin by determining the place value where the decimal is going to be rounded. So we're looking around to the tenths, the hundredths, the 10,000s, whatever the case may be. We begin by finding what decimal place we're rounding to. Then what we do is once we find that decimal place, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look to the right of that digit. Now, if the digit is 5 or more, then we're going to increase the digit that's being rounded by 1. If the digit that's next to the one we're rounding is 0 through 4, the digit is going to remain the same. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop all other remaining digits. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples and see how we would do this. So in our first one here, we have 645 thousandths. So what we want to do is we want to round to the hundredths. So to do that, we have our tenths, hundredths. So this is the digit that we're looking at. So then really once we know that we're looking to round to the hundredths, we're going to go ahead and look at the digit that falls next to it. In this case, the digit is a 5, and we know that since it's a 5, we're going to increase this number by 1. So it actually rounds to 65 hundredths. So everything else drops off. Let's look at our next example. We want to round to the tenths. Here we have our whole number, and if you remember from our last video, we have 42 and 5,596 10,000ths is how this reads. We're going to round to the tenths. So as we come here, we're going to go right here because we know that that number represents our tenths. We're going to look at the next digit, which in this case is a 5. So we know that because this is a 5, it is going to the digit that's being rounded is going to increase by 1. So this will now read 42 and 6/10. Remember, everything else drops off. So let's look at our third example, which we're rounding to the thousandths. And again, let's find our place, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So we're here, we're going to look to our next digit, okay? Because we're rounding to the thousandths, we're going to look here, we see this is a 9, again, we're going to go ahead and round. So we will have 0, 0, 3, we're increasing by 1, everything drops off. So this reads as 3 thousandths. And then we have our last one with cents. Because we're rounding to cents, we know that we're going to look in our hundredths column, okay, whenever we're dealing with cents. So we look at the next number, that's an 8. So then we have, for this one, we're going to increase one more, and it is $75.89. So that just shows you our process when it comes to rounding. Now, suppose we had one that looked like this. We had 321 thousandths, and we were going to round to the hundredths. So again, we're going to find that place value. We see that here. We look to the next one. Because this is a 1, we know this stays the same. So this would actually round to 32 hundredths. So that just gives you an example. If the number that was following the one that's being rounded was between 0 to 4. So in this video, we reviewed the important points about rounding decimal numbers.